Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Adams. Samantha will be joining us throughout the afternoon in just a little while. Boy, I use this an awful lot about Chamber of Commerce weather, but today might be the one. This is really good.
It was a little cool out this morning, but we all know our friends back up north are probably they don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
so it's a beautiful day. We hope to see you out here. Solid 9-race card and good weekend of racing coming up too.
Yeah, we're back on the turf today,
Yeah.
which is always exciting. Great couple of really great stakes and a couple of fantastic grass races on Saturday,
Yeah.
but we're going to deal with Thursday. And like I said, fast main track, firm turf course, and we got the all-weather Tapeta, and we also got the Rainbow Six this afternoon with 400,000
Yep.
as the guesstimate. So we'll see how that plays out. There you see it, 210 in the pool right now.
Big number out there, and word is Sunday will be a mandatory payout Rainbow Six Day.
Yeah, that's it. Mandatory payout on Sunday, and this is our first week of 5 days, so we're not really quite sure what day it is every day until
That's correct.
Until we get here, right?
That is correct.
If you're anything like me, which I hope you're not, but
Yep.
it's hard to figure it out. All right, we took care of all that early stuff. Now it's time to get down to the facts, and that is Brian's early pick 5
Yep.
ticket.
Got a $12 ticket. I joked to you in the office. I could have played this for $1.50. I'm going to be single, or I'm going to punch this a few times with my A horses. You can see race 1. I'm going to use 4 deep in race 2 while readily admitting that the 5, Heir to the Roar, is a very likely winner in there. Best bet of the day is Lady Megan in race number 3. Lost some starts with a big scratch in there. Race 4 is the 8, another horse, Evanora. I could easily single, but she's not a huge fan of winning, so I did use another one in there. And in race 5, Ron, 3 deep with the 6, Wanna Be Loved on top for Jose D'Angelo. That's a $12 early pick 5 ticket.
Very affordable. Like I said, if you want an add a horse to it, it's not going to be very expensive for you. So with that said, the first race today is going to be around 2 turns, and it's a mile 70 yards. These are maiden claiming fillies, 4-year-olds and upward. And we start the day with no scratches or jockey changes. In here, Brian, and you have that number 8 on top of your ticket, and that is Lily is back. Pray tell why.
Yeah, well, Oscar Gonzalez is back as well, and Vicente Stella, a former co-winning owner of a title, and Oscar's winning races again. We're going to try Tapeta. He reaches out for Irad. This horse has been freshened up a little bit since the claim. Drop doesn't bother me in the least, and I just kind of feel like at the end of the day, we got the best rider and the best horse, and that's going to be a little problematic for the rest of these. And it wouldn't shock me at all, Ron, if she's a lot lower than this 5-2 morning line by post time.
Yeah, I just flip-flopped it a little bit with the horse you have in second on top, and that is Machia. This one from Victor Barboza Jr., third start back from the layoff, and just ran really well last time out. And it was 6 to 1, half a dozen the other.
Yep.
These two look like the logical ones. Underneath, you go with the 7, you go with the 9. We got the video.
Yeah, we can show it, yeah.
Yeah, show that video.
Yeah, because Machia was just ahead of St. Chappelle, who's a 7-horse today. Here you see him last time. St. Chappelle trying to get first run on Machia, Victor Barboza, Micio Jaramillo, so we got high percentage connections in here. St. Chappelle's down on the inside. That's never ideal on the Tapeta, and she's got a rail run. Watch what happens when she tips out now, St. Chappelle. And this is what we talk about all the time, where you don't want to be on the inside on the Tapeta. Watch what happens when she finally gets off the fence. You can literally see her extending her stride, and she actually tightens up a little bit there. She had interest in this spot, Ron. We got to get her off the inside, and Tyler rode her last time, and he's got a better post position today, and I wouldn't shock me at all if she turns the tables.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. So St. Chappelle on my ticket and on, excuse me, Brian's ticket. Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon. It's 5 furlongs on the Tapeta starter, optional claimer. 4 fillies and mares, 4 and up. We did have a scratch in here for the number 7, Cool, Calm, Collected. And this race also, I thought too, the Heir to the Roar was the one to beat.
Yeah, let's take a look at what Samantha's doing in her early pick 4, and then we'll get back to it. She's 3 deep. She's got no singles. She got a ticket yesterday with no singles either. Race 3, she's going 3 deep as well. She's got Lady Megan, again, my best bet of the day. She's got the 7 in She's So Sexy, along with Evanora, kind of a newcomer off the claim now. And then in race 5, she'll go 3 deep in that spot there. That could be the race where maybe you think a little bit of a price. She's got a Brian Lynch first, or Royce's Ride in there. That's the 2-horse, $27 early pick 4 ticket.
Early pick 4, and that's races 2, 3, and 4. And getting back to this race, boy, Heir to the Roar looks pretty good in here.
I think so, Ron. Finally, what happened 2 starts back is she didn't break, and she ran out of room late. Last time she broke better, they flew absolutely flew early. My wife knows it all. The 6-horse was involved in that pace. Heir to the Roar ran her down, and now we know now when she breaks she's going to be closer, and it's tough to get past her because her form, Ronnie, is just so consistent.
Yeah, and you just look, I don't know what you read into this. She wins at 5-3 back, doesn't win at 5.5, 2 back, wins at 5 again. I don't know if you put something into that. I just noticed that when I was handicapping it. You mentioned my wife knows it all. I ran a rude race last time out in a losing effort.
Yeah, and she flew and she was dueling. The problem for her is the pace looks just absolutely hellacious again because Chloe's Toy, who she dueled with last time, she's on the inside again and she's got to go. So they're going to be popping early again today.
And you got Above the Limit has only one way to go, and that's on the front end.
You said it perfectly.
It just looks like there's going to be a lot of speed, so it sets up perfectly for Heir to the Roar. Race number 3 this afternoon is going to be a 6-furlong sprint. These are maiden claimers, and there are fillies, 3-year-olds, and interesting race here. And again, Lady Megan is your top pick. We got a replay. We can show that first, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, she actually finished behind Queen Mackenzie in this spot. Queen Mackenzie's the 4 coming up the fence. Now this is on the main track here, and Lady Megan's looping, and that's no good. What is she, 7 deep there? 6 wide, I guess, and that's just not ideal. And now we've got a Victor Barboza, second-time starter. The winner was good this day for Antonio Sano. Who's, by the way, 1 win away from 1,000 career wins. That'll come sooner rather than later. And now Victor at 26% with second-time maidens. The Lasix goes on. The old all systems go angle today, Ronnie.
Yeah, I went with the number 4 on top in here, and that's area code 501 for Safi Joseph Jr. with IRAD. So I got a stat I wanted to show you on that, just to see what it looks like here with the horse doing this. So you see 3-year-old fillies getting first-time Lasix in the past 5 years. 23%, that's his normal 25, 30,
Sure.
54%. What I liked was a positive return on investment, and I really wanted to see what difference was between fillies and colts.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but there you see it. Always good to have those great formulated stats.
Yeah, this horse has got a negative, but she's got a positive, too. The negative, Safi claimed her on October 13th, and now we're waiting all the way to January 2nd. I don't love that, but the positive is he claimed her for a quarter, and she's in for 35 today, so maybe that negates it. I've got to see a little more. Maybe the slop didn't help her, and who's better than Safi?
Yeah, I lost the 1 horse in there, and I bumped up to 6 Venezuelan Pride for Nolan Ramsey, and as simple as that. First off the claim, he's getting Lasix, getting blinkers, so we'll see what happens with this horse this afternoon.
Immediately back to the main track where she ran so well on debut in the slop, closing the lack of early speed. Nolan puts the blinkers on. Maybe that's going to help her out a little bit.
Well, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow Six ticket with that $400,000 guesstimate pool money.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron and Brian with you here. This is, not afternoon yet, 11:33 in the morning. 5 furlongs on the Tapeta is going to be race number 4. These are claimers, fillies, and mares, 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 in life. No scratches, jockey changes. Show you my ticket this afternoon, and it's $43.20. And we'll talk about the 4th. In the 5th race, my top pick was the 5, Venezuelan Hope, but I used your horses on there, Brian, too. Race number 6, my top pick is the 8. That's my long shot today for Chris Davis, Ragtime Kitty. And race number 7, I'm taking a little bit of a shot. I went back and watched the Pacific Front's last race a couple of times. I had some trouble. I think if this horse would have gotten through, would have won. So I'm taking a little bit of a shot there. Race number 8, just too deep for me, and I think the race goes through to number 5, Dazzling Blue, 9-5. Will show you stat. And then the last, my top pick is the 3, Sugar Buzz, but I'm not totally sold on that horse, so I went a couple of different ways.
Well, that is the race, right? I think where you're allowed to maybe go a couple different ways. I put her on top too, but I agree with you, that coming down from Woodbine on a much, much different turf course, that could be the race that blows this up.
Yeah, made a good point the other day, you and Samantha did too. You know, horses from Canada, when they come down, over the years, have started to need a race.
I really firmly believe in that. I think we've seen it play out time and time again, especially on the Tapeta. You know, everybody watching they know the score out there, so they know Woodbine. Yeah. It's a big, expansive turf course and Tapeta course, for that matter. It's different around here, and those horses predominantly, it's pretty close to a statement of fact. The second time out down here, they're much, much better.
Yeah, and you can actually chart it and see that. So getting to this 4th race, and you mentioned Evanora looks tough. We got a video with Evanora and a couple other horses that were in that race.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like picking her at, maybe she's even going to be lower than this price with IRAD, but she's the most likely winner in here. The problem is, and listen, I have swung with Evanora more than one occasion in the past. The problem with Evanora is, look at all these underneath finishes at low odds. She's starting to get a little bit of a reputation. And don't forget now, here she is closing down the crown of the Tapeta. That's exactly where you want to be, Ronnie. Right. And she still couldn't get there.
She tried, but as you mentioned, she's got a little bit of a chandelier, as we like to say in there. You know, Brian, I used the 7 in second. That She's So Sexy. First off, the claim by Mike Maker, I thought ran pretty well last time out behind Evanora and them. At just maybe the barn change with Louis Size and aggressive rider getting the board. And this is amazing. We've been picking Mike Maker horses here for 10 years. His first up to claim has always been 16%. It's like the same number no matter what.
Yeah, well, she's going to have to really need an about face, right? Because she didn't fire that much last time. She was 2-1 for Safi and got dueled into the ground. Now, the post position for her today is a lot better, and Louis will put her into the race, but now he's got the benefit of being outside, the other speed to her inside.
Now, we saw Must Have Been Love in that video you just showed you have in second.
She ran well. There's no doubt about it, and she's got the speed. The problem is what happens on the pace of this race. It all suits Evanora, too. The question is, is she going to get there? Princess Blakely, by the way, who was in that photo, 1 for 19. So that's not really screaming Ron Nicoletti super key race.
So ridden by Edgar Zayas, and when we showed the stats, he's actually in second. I mean, Ired's out by many, but Edgar's having a really good meet. So
Edgar is, our pretty much always our leading jockey, and he gives no quarter against these guys in the winter. He's just as good.
Yep. Let's go to the 5th race. It's a mile on the turf, and it's going to be for maiden claimers, and they are 3-year-olds. No scratches in this race. Samantha had to pick 5 that she will show you.
Yeah, I know she's got Brian's horse on. I don't know if she's got Royce's ride on top, but she's using this one here. Her single is an interesting one in race 8. A huge scratch in that race. But Ruthless Rua, who we're going to show you as she goes for 4 in a row, is facing a good group today in a Juddmonte runner for Brad Cox that is a stakes filly in Dazzling Blue. That's a compelling feature in race number 8, Ronnie.
Yeah, I Ruthless Roy I have a little further down, but I was torn. I didn't know whether I almost put that horse on top, but I kept just backing off. Of course, trained by Sam, right?
Yep.
Sam. So race number 5 here. Let's get to this race, and you have on top that we'll start with that before we show the video of Venezuelan Hope with Wanna Be Loved, and this one from Jose D'Angelo. Haven't seen since August.
Yep. Louis Saez, we're going to come back with Lasix, as all these 3-year-olds now can put it on, use it. Jose D'Angelo very quietly now is 14% first turf.
Yeah.
There was a point in time, Ronnie, where he was like 0 for 54.
Yeah, he was a toss.
He's a total toss. And now the freshening, the Lasix, the post position, and the speed, the rails are at 24 feet here. today. Great, so good to be back on a firm turf course. She's got a better post position he does today. I think Wanna Be Loved is dangerous in here.
Yeah, I got him on my ticket,
Yep.
my Rainbow Six ticket, as I just showed you. But let's see with Venezuelan Hope, who now is listed as a gelding.
Yeah, so what's happening here, okay, and I'm glad Samantha pulled this up. He's got run down on the inside, Ron, and he had a little bit of trouble, and he's got momentum here. And what happened was when the trouble occurs here and the seam nest isn't really here for him, he kind of flattened out. I don't know if he decided to kind of call it a day, if he didn't want to come through on the inside. I'm not really sure, but I feel like if he was able to just keep rolling and free running, he would have been a lot closer. That was his second start on turf, but first with blinkers. Now the Lasix goes on. I think you're on the horse to beat, and I think you're on the favorite in here. He should be favored.
Yeah, we'll see how that runs.
Yeah.
And then, the first time starter that Samantha used, always good to watch the board. But Brian Lynch does a fantastic job, and Samantha's in tune with these horses that work in more, especially from Brian Lynch's barn. So if she's using his horse, maybe go back and give it a second look.
I can't stress this enough with Brian's horses. When they're bet, they're going to run. When they're not bet, they will not run and they will not win. It's a state. That is a fact. Watch the tote board with him.
Let's go to race number 6, and we'll watch the tote board when this race starts. Miles 70 odds on the Topita Claimers. Fillies 3 are old, so they were 2 just a little while ago. Scratching the 3, Money Bouquet, and kicks off your late pick 4 today.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. $30. We'll just throw a blanket on this one, and the scratch was not a horse I had, so darn close to the all ball. No blinging blur, I guess, down on the inside. 5 deep in race 7, so I'm just really, really hoping for a price in here. Race 7, I've got the 6 on top, Differentia. There's the single. I don't love this single. I actually had the 2 singled, Unsolved Mystery, but I can't use too many more. I don't want to give out a $60 late pick 4. And in race 9, Ronnie, 39. I agree with you with Sugar Buzz, with a little trepidation. Rosagante as well, another Victor Barboza second-time starter.
Yeah, that's basically how I saw the race. But like I said, it wasn't sold, so I threw in Secret Badger Man. We're going to show
Great name, by the way.
We're going to show a replay of that race. But getting back to this race here, I got my long shot in here, and that's Ragtime Kinney, who I thought had a decent shot this afternoon. Just you look at its last race and just comes and I thought was going to have room. Drops down, gets the blinkers, gets the Lasix this afternoon, gets Tyler Gaffleone, even though it was ridden by Irad last time. But I thought the drop, this barn. I sort of like this barn. They fire. They had a nice win last week, so I was looking for a little bit of a shot. Third off the bench. We'll see how this one runs.
Yeah, Chris Davis won the Rampart, upset the Rampart
right.
the other day, and Soul of an Angel. I can't use her. She's one of the couple I didn't use, blinkers and Lasix maybe. I didn't think the trouble was that significant. She was running on 2 starts back.
I disagree. I thought she got sawed off in that race. I went back and looked, and I actually wrote sawed off.
Okay.
Early on, I think it stopped the momentum.
Early?
Early on. Yeah, I just thought it was like one of those. It was early on in the race. She just goes up and just had to put on the brakes. And then, it's hard to get rolling again, especially when you're a 2-year-old.
Yeah, and I'll say this for her. She deserves some racing luck.
Yeah.
What happened to her 2 starts back, so.
Yeah, we'll see how it is.
I'm on my long shot here, too, so we're both thinking the same.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to blow this up. I've got the 5 Del Rosario on top, 68 to 1, 30 to 1, 57 to 1. Who knows what she's going to be today? Another class dropper comes out of that same race you do.
Right.
Ruben Sierra knows how to blow up a board, that's for sure.
Right.
In these Topita races, Ronnie, sometimes they just keep taking turns beating each other.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, we're thinking alike, but not the same horses. Where's the spot that you could take a shot.
Yep.
Now, the number 7 horse in here, Bugged Out, actually going to have its claimant tag sliced in half today for Ken Sweezy, and, going to stretch out around 2 turns. So, let's see a stat that I found on Ken Sweezy, just doing what we're going to be doing today. 50% drop on Topita last 5 years. Not a big sample, but very good. You never know when this thing's going to pop up, what they look like. Yeah. So 26%, 58% in the money. So we know that he can do this now. He's stretching out today, so there's a big change for this horse.
Yeah, and this is a barn now that has just been really live since the start of the championship meet. Let's give a shout to Jorge Ruiz as well. Yeah. Great to see him back. Yeah. He lost the opener by this much in his first start back after getting roughed up the other day. That was great to see, and I think if this horse can route Ron, she's danger in here.
What about the China Blue, just real quickly, that you threw in second, comes off the bench and wins?
Well, wins at a route,
Yeah.
too. You know, some of these gals that we've talked about, the 7,
Right.
the 4, they've got to prove it. Hey,
Right.
if nothing else, she has. I know she faces winners today, but we'll see what we get. It was a good race.
Yeah. Just backed around, you didn't use the 8, but otherwise we were thinking the same. I didn't have the 5, so that's great. I love when we do that, dueling long shots. Let's flip the page, go to race number 7, 1 mile and 3/16 on the Topita, so they're going to stretch it out this afternoon in race number 7.
You don't see that very often as well. You very rarely see 9 furlong races on the Topita, let alone this would be 9.5. And we just got the exacta reverse. That's all. This is a spread race, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I got my, I went with Pacific Front. Just was, if you go back and look at the horse's last race, just never had a place to run from beginning to end. Just, wasn't that she was sawed off or anything like that. Just never got a chance to run in, out, in, out. So I thought maybe that was a horse. And like you thought so too, and you just went with the 6 Differencia on top, and I can understand that.
Yeah, my note on your horse was that she was in between the entire way, and horses don't want to be in between. No. It's not ideal. When she did get out, she had some run to her. Yeah. Differencia, hey, we got to prove it on the Topita, but she ran out in the pasture there at Kentucky Downs, so if nothing else, she's got a leg up, to come here now. Christophe Clement, the barn has started good. Hey, Joel Rosario, right?
Yeah, Joel Rosario in town. We got a stat I want to show you right now in Differencia in race number 7. It should pop up, and there it is. Second start on turf in the past 5 years, 19%, 44% in the money. So that's what he does. 20%.
It's a good barn.
Joel Rosario, you either love him or hate him some days, that's for sure. He's a great guy. I love him really a lot as a friend, and sometimes he doesn't ride the way I like him, but I'm not on the horse, that's for sure. So what about the number 4 in here? And that's El Magit, Todd Pletcher, Edgar Zayas.
She's fine, right? I don't love her at all, but I think she's in the mix here. Maybe Topita moves her up. I will say this, as I'm beating her up a little bit. She's run okay. She's run better in her last 2 starts. She had a bad post last time. She middle moved and tired. Edgard's going to get back aboard. He was on her 2 starts back. Hey, maybe it's Topita for her today.
Let's go to race number 8. Anything else? 7?
I just think I saw Joel Rosario with a shovel coming out here.
He's fine. He's my buddy. He knows I'm joking. 6 furlongs allowance, optional claimer for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. 2 Unsolved Mystery, I think, was your top pick before the scratch, and you went to Dazzling Blue, I believe, in there. And we got a video on Ruthless Rue that you talked about.
Well, first of all, Dazzling Blue. Here's the thing now, okay? She hates winning. She never wins. She's bet off the board. She could be odds on in here with the scratch. And she's lost a lot of her speed of late. You know that, Ron? She's got 6 straight losses. She hasn't shown speed anymore. There's not a lot of speed in here. So I default into her. I'm just going to say she's going to be a short number. She doesn't have to win, And here we go with Brad. Statboy crushing it today. It's a big layoff, too, June 16th. Yeah. Brad in person the other day. It was good to see him. And, hey, this is just Brad doing his thing.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. Really good, really solid numbers. 23%. Yep. That's off a 180-day-plus layoff. That's pretty good. So we'll see how it is. Tyler Gaffalion will be in the saddle. Now we'll get the Ruthless Rua that you've been talking about earlier on, and Samantha used, I believe.
Yeah, Samantha singled this horse. So Herm and Sam have done a really good job with this mare. Daughter of Distorted Humor, they claimed at Churchill, and she's won 3 races at Del Mar, Gulfstream, and Churchill Downs. Here she is here doing it impressively, just, laughing at a pretty solid field. This is a better field today. There's no doubt about that. But she was darn good this day. They take her on the road to Louisville. She wins. Now she's back home where she's already got a win right here. Watch her stride out. She is, and here's the other good thing about her, Ronnie. She's got a flow edge on our top pick, and that's Dazzling Blue. So she's dangerous in here, going for 4 in a row.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And you got Autumn Evening in there, and the Autumn Evening, ran okay at Aqueduct in those 2 races. It's Todd. You don't know what you're going to get. You got Johnny Velasquez in the saddle.
Good post for her. She's got blinkers, by the way, and apparently she had blinkers last time. So.
Yeah, well, I got 2 picks. Was there another scratch in there? Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I got 5, 6, and 3. So
about 5, 6, and 3.
All right, right down the rip.
Maybe.
Oh,
scratch the 4. There you go.
Pacific Rose is a late scratch. The 4. Thank you,
go.
Eli. Appreciate that. Pacific
late
Rose
scratch,
is a late one.
Jorge Delgado.
Pete's upstairs. He'll give you all that.
Yeah. ninth race on the turf, which I love. 1 mile maiden claimers, and as Brian, Sugar Buzz we mentioned, probably the one to beat in here, right? And you got that replay you want to show. I'm not sold. Just, let's see what goes on.
Yeah, let's take a look at Sugar Buzz, who's the Woodbine Invader. This is the turf race, so this is September 15th, and we talked about this. I'm glad we can show a turf race at Woodbine because this is what we're talking about, night and day different. But here's Sugar Buzz. This is a stretch that doesn't end at Woodbine. And he runs well, Ron. The winner wins easily, but he picks up the pieces here. The problem is IRAD is really going to have to concentrate on, I think, keeping this horse into the race early. Rails are at 24 feet. That'll help. That won't hurt. And that was the best turf race, I think, by far. The question is, can he do it here? Here's another thing, too. Mark Cassie never claims horses. Claim this one.
Claim that one. Mm-hmm. Now, we'll talk about Rosagante before we show you the video of Secret Badgett Man. Rosagante, you just look. This horse is going to stretch out from Victor Barboza Jr. I think this horse is, dropping. I think it just fits perfectly here.
Couldn't agree with more, Ron. It almost looks like that this was the plan all along. Right. We've already talked about Victor. Second time out at 26%. Who comes on aboard now? Amicio Jaramillo, who's the go-to rider. We're going to add Lasix, and we're going to stretch out on a horse that looked like he was wanting more ground that day.
Now we'll show you that video of the 7 Secret Badgett Man.
Speed, right? Mm-hmm. Dangerous horse. 86-1 on Secret Badgett Man. The song plays in my head every time. I see this horse's name pop up. Great name. And 86-1, Ron. He's supposed to stop and finish 10th, right?
Yeah.
He finished third, beating a length and a half. Lionel Reyes almost tried it again to blow up the race here at 86-1. Well, that's long gone today, but we know this in the past, and I've said this in the past. The betting public, they look at that as a total fluke.
Yeah.
Because that race, in this race, is probably 7-2, 4-1.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to come back to him. He's dangerous in here.
We got the exact same super.
Wow. That's impossible.
Yeah, almost impossible. Yeah. And we did. I think the Kingdom is the other one. John Service. You go back to that race, that grass race in Delaware, so it puts this horse in the hunt. As we say, try supers, getting Lasix like most in here, so we'll see how it plays out with that race. So that's about it for the 9 races, but we certainly are not done. We got lots of information we want to show you here in the lightning round, and we'll kick it right off. We got big news yesterday as far as the Pegasus World Cup goes.
We finally got a look now at the potentially prospective field with the first round of Pegasus invites are out there for the 3 races, and of course the World Cup front and center on January 25th. Guys did a great job here. Thank you so much. And here's, Locked is very likely going to be your morning line favorite in the Pegasus should he show up. Of course, White Abario is, we know so well. Skippy Longstocking, I think he's got $2 million in the bank now.
I was just saying, Mystic Dan, if he could bounce back, he could be right there. He's a good horse.
Yep. Kentucky Derby winner, Senor Buscador, almost blew this race open last year with a huge second to the Preakness winner, National Treasure. So there's some good names in there. Bob Baffert, of course, won the race last year. He's got imagination. Mixto won the Pacific Classic last year. Stronghold, Santa Anita Derby winner. Big names.
You see we got the turf. I think we got the invitations of the turf race to show you.
And if you're not familiar with Johannes, he is tremendous out on the West Coast for Tim Yakteen, second in the Breeders' Cup Mile. This would be 9 furlongs for Johannes, so a little bit different of a game for him. But, boy, he is class through and through. And then you see a lot of the horses we kind of know around here. Grand Sonata was good, winning the Fort Lauderdale for Pletcher. Charlie Appleby, Nation's Pride in Godolphin. How about that?
Yeah, Charlie Appleby will be here, and plans are that he's definitely going to run, is what I hear.
Pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. So that's that, but we're not done. We're going to show you what happened in the cash run yesterday, right? We'll do that first.
This was impressive because, you and I talked about this on the air. 5G was dreadful against New York breds on the dirt. She had a race for her on Saturday on the turf because she's a stakes place turf filly. What does George Weaver do? He runs her on the dirt, and if you believed in George, as we all know we should by now, this is what you got. This was dominant, Ron.
Yeah, just just ran away from it there. So just wins for fun in that race. And then we also had the other one where you had pointed out was the speed in the race, and that's the way it played out. Had to duel a little bit early, but got the job done.
As did 5G actually. She did too. But Mibago, had never tried it, had to prove it, and on the lead, routing on Tapita isn't always the best angle of attack, but you're not going to take anything away from a speed horse, and this was a gutty win. Hammerhead ran well as two.
Well, we got that great stakes race, and as we mentioned, as we'll let you know, Saturday's races are shaping up fantastic.
Yes.
And Sunday, mark this down. We'll tell you more about it. It's going to be mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six, and they're expecting like $3 million if it doesn't get hit.
If it doesn't get hit, we've got 3 days of heavy lifting. Obviously, I want to talk quickly about the Mucho Macho Man on Saturday. The path to the Curlin Florida Derby kicks off Saturday in the Mucho Macho Man, and I'll tell you what, Ron, that is a whale of a race. I believe there's 11 of them entered, and I'm going to tell you what, you could come up with 7 or 8 different winners.
No, we talked about this as we were looking at it yesterday, certainly. So what's your best bet today?
I think it's early for me, right? It's Lady Megan in race 3, and unfortunately, with a big scratch, 5-2 is probably out the window. Yeah,
my best bet is is Pacific Front. See if this one can get that mile in 3/16. After that, I thought a trouble trip. We'll see your long shot.
Same race as you.
Oh,
I got the
right.
5, Del Rosario at 15, and you're a little slight peck below at 12.
Yeah, I'm 12-1 with Ragtime Kitty, who I think is going to enjoy the drop in there, 12-1. So see how it plays out. Pick 5 pool already over $50,000. As Brian mentioned a little while, we're going to turn everything over to Pete Aiello, get you all those scratches, changes, and we'll be back here for race number 1. You can count on it.